This week on the Wet Slap, what's it like being a professional motocross rider?
They're all just a bunch of dogs. Trust me. I just love it.
Bro, what's your mentality? Sitting behind those bars, waiting for the gates to drop.
Dude, it's high. Your killer instinct comes in like, let's go. Like, it's go time.
Any gnarly breaks, tears, or anything on the bike?
Yeah, for sure.
Bro, you're just listing everybody apart right now. Yeah. He's like, we're storyboarding some video ideas, and I want to bring this up to you because you'll have insight.
It's going to cost you a lot probably in hospital bills.
You think so? Oh my God.
They're starting to come out with electric dirt bikes.
But imagine Tesla Motors hits up old CP.
You know what? You'll see me on electric.
You're just zooming past everybody. Who's kind of like the GOAT right now of motocross?
That was my hero.
Dude, I actually think I am hard of hearing. Yeah. Are you hard of hearing from being around all those bikes, dude?
Not yet, but I think it'll come for sure.
Yeah, my dad played in bands growing up, so I think he can barely hear. I can sneak up on my dad so easily.
I've never like anytime. Obviously, we're around a lot of loud noise, and it's never bothered me. But I feel like everyone, like when they get older, it just all of a sudden hits them, and then you can't hear. Like my uncle used to race, and now he's literally deaf in one ear right now.
We all got a deaf uncle.
Yeah.
We all got a deaf uncle. Dude, uncles are just the move. Are you an uncle? What?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep. I have 3 nieces I have a 4th niece on the way. Yeah. No, I have 4 nieces. I have a 5th niece on the way.
Dope, man. Yeah, we love a big family.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What's it like being a professional motocross rider? And how old are your nephews? Like, are they old enough to know how cool of a gig you got going on?
Well, they're nieces. They're
nieces.
Girls.
My bad. So they don't care is what you're trying to say.
Yeah. No, I have 2 that are definitely old enough to know what I do. I want to say she's 13, or she's a freshman in high school. So what, 13, 14?
Yep.
And the other one, I want to say is 5th or 6th grade. So they both obviously know what I do. They think it's pretty cool, except like I always just like to mess with them. Like I try to act like I'm just a friend to them. So then they kind of open up to me, you know?
Yeah.
But then my one niece actually lives with me, and she's 5. Or when I'm in Florida, I live with her. She's 5. She's obsessed with me. I don't know why, because I'm always like the one that's tormenting her and just beating her up. And just I try to toughen her up because you don't want to be around that girl that's always crying or whatever, you know? So I always tell my sister, just let me just be hard on her so she'll be tough.
There's nothing better than sitting down at the table for family dinner or for like a holiday, and then all the cousins or nieces and nephews all want to sit by you because you're just like the cool guy, you know?
That's the goal in life, right?
Yeah.
You kind of made it.
What's the levels of success? Like, has Elon reached that yet? Probably not. But what's the feeling? So when you're at a race for motocross and, you know, you just got out of season and now you're doing worlds and you're traveling internationally and whatnot, when the kids come up to the tents to ask for signatures, it's just kind of like, what's that feeling, that emotion, how these kids just like look up to you guys?
It's pretty cool. And honestly, it's funny you asked that because Saturday, I had like one of the coolest things ever. The kid doesn't even know like that what he said to me meant so much, but I went and actually practiced at a public track here in Florida in Gainesville. It's called Gatorback, and I've had some really good races there back when I was amateur, but I haven't ridden that track since I turned pro. The last time I'd ridden it was probably 2020, and so I went up there just for fun, just to go ride. I wanted to change something up and went and rode. And I parked next to this kid, and like I'm never the type to, like, if I go out anywhere or whatever, like I'll never say like what I do. I actually, the other night someone asked me what I do, and I said I was jobless, and my dad like was like, he is not jobless. 'Cause he's like, it makes me feel or sound like just a pile, you know, but I just don't like talking about what I do. Well, I parked next to this kid, and like I don't expect this kid to even know any idea who I am, like no idea. Well, he did. He asked me like, why am I on the new bike that I'm on? It's a Suzuki instead of a Honda. Just talked to him all day. He actually asked me for some advice. I'm like, dude, like anything you need, you just ask me. Don't be scared to ask me. So when I went to go leave, I had given him some tips throughout the day. When I went to leave, he says, it's awesome meeting you, man. And it's really good to know that there's still pros like you around. And dude, when he told me that, like I played it cool, like, hey man, like awesome meeting you too. But I was like, dude, that's the first time like someone's ever said anything to me. And I'm like, wow, like, you know what? Like maybe I am doing some good in the world at some level. Like I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. So what are the tips you give somebody who's trying to get better?
It's really cliche, but dude, the most important thing is just to have fun in anything you do. Like even you with this, like I'm sure you enjoy the heck out of doing this. And so like you're going to, dude, like if you enjoy something, you're always going to give it your best. You're always going to love showing up in what you do. And if you can't enjoy it, like it's my job now. And I probably love it more now than what I used to, like when I was a little kid. Like I just love it. And so I tell people, if you don't love it, like you're not going to do much, in my opinion. And secondly, like he was just asking me about the track and just opening up some corners or whatever, you know, like I try to help in any way I can, but I just know the stuff I struggle with on the inside, like it's mental or, I mean, dude, like, you know, anything, especially in sports, it's so mental. So, I mean, that's even something I struggle with and I'm trying to get better at. So if any little kid talks to me, I always try and just like encourage them because to me, dude, the mental battle for anything in life is so big. Like if you're mentally strong, dude, you can do a lot in the world.
Yeah. And motocross, I mean, the way y'all start the race all next to each other, the engines start, all the crowds going crazy, they're throwing up smoke on the track.
Yeah.
Bro, what's your mentality sitting behind those bars waiting for the gates to drop? What's in your mind? Are you calm?
Yeah, I'm pretty calm to be honest. I've watched a race in a stand like in the Supercross stadium. So in the Supercross races, there's 22 of us. In the outdoor races, there's 40 of us. Well, in the Supercross ones, like it's in a stadium. There's music going. There's fire like going off. Like, and it's hype. Like you're in this, like the time that I've been in the stands before to watch, like when I was amateur, and dude, I get nerves like sitting there, like just in the stands. I'm like, holy crap. Like I can't imagine being down on the gate. And then you're down on the gate and you're so in the zone that you don't even know any of that's really going on. Like you're just, like your killer instinct comes in. Like, to be honest, I'm a really fun, like loving dude, like in the pits or whatever. When I talk to people, I always try and be the nice guy or whatever. But when I get down there, to be honest, I want to hate everybody. Like, I don't want to be friends with anyone that I race with. That's just me. Like, not everyone's like that. There's a lot of people that's like that. But yeah, like to answer your question though, when you're down there on the gate, the only thing you're thinking of is like how much I hate this dude and how much I hate that guy. Like, let's go. Like it's go time.
I mean, one of the best athletes ever to exist, Michael Jordan, would make fake beefs with guys on the opposite team just to bring out that like animalistic behavior.
And that's a big thing. That's where I'm getting back to, like, it's so mental. Like you can make up those scenarios in your head for MJ even, and you're just like, dude, I'm going to kill this guy, like in the best way possible. I'm going to make him never want to play basketball again or make him never want to race a dirt bike again.
Here's a one-off question. MJ or LeBron?
Oh, MJ all the way.
All the way? Okay.
Yep.
Just had to get that off the bat. That wasn't written down or anything.
Would you agree with that or no?
No. I'm going to have to go LeBron, but it's just because when he came back on the greatest Warriors team ever from a 3-1 deficit, and the championship, I remember telling myself when it was 3-2, I'm like, if LeBron comes back, I will give LeBron his flowers as either the greatest of all time or tied for greatest of all time.
I respect that. But, yeah.
Bro, I called Louis Cortese. I just had him on last episode. He did motocross growing up as well. I wanted to get his input because this is something that's a little bit more foreign to me. You know, I did my studying and whatnot. So I wanted him to tell me what I should ask you. He said he wanted me to ask this question. How dangerous is motocross really? Like, do you ever, when you're out there, do you feel like you could actually lose your life while riding?
I mean, it's 100% possible, unfortunately. But we get in the car I got in the car to even come here. And to me, that's almost an even bigger risk because then you have to worry about other people, like the people texting or whatever, you know, like there's too many dangers in life to count on one, you know, like, I mean, there's people in football who have passed away. So yeah, it's dangerous, but everything in life is dangerous. And shoot, if I'm going to go out, at least I'm doing something I love.
Okay. I love that. Is there bad boys on the track? Like a dude who gets a little rough, tries to push you off and you're like, what the?
Yeah.
Is that looked down on?
It depends, but I mean, there's a dude, his name's Justin Barsha, and he's known to be aggressive. Like if you pass him, you better be ready. Like I don't race him. He's in the 450 class, but, yeah, he's just known that if you pass him, you better be ready. He's coming back after you and he's going to try and kill you. But like as a fan, some people absolutely love him. And then there's the ones that just absolutely hate him. But like those are the people that the sport needs though, because it draws more attention and it's a storyline sometimes on the weekend.
Do you do it? Do you hit people a little bit?
For the most part, I'm pretty good. Like I don't really do anything, but I mean, I'm not afraid if I have to, I will too.
What's too much? Like, can you get next to a guy and just really write him off the track, or will you be like, hey, bro, you're not coming back?
Yeah, I mean, there's also rules. Like, there's a fine line. Like, you can easily get penalized, disqualified if it gets like really out of hand, which that's so rare. Like, that never really happens. For it to be my biggest thing, it's called a cross jump. So like, if you're in the air and someone cuts over on you, that's when like that's out of line for me. Like, if you do that to me, I'm gonna be ready to absolutely kill you. Like, because that's when it gets dangerous. Like, that's when you're jumping really high in the air and you have someone cutting you off in the air. That's when like big crashes can happen, and there's no one in the sport that likes it, you know. So if anyone does it, you get instantly like, you just see red. You're like, this guy, I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah. Who's kind of like the GOAT right now of motocross? Who is just ending first all the time?
So, there's an actual dude. He's called the GOAT. His name's Ricky Carmichael. He's won the most races out of anyone, and or not the most, but the most championships. And he was that was my hero. Like, he retired though in 2007. His last race was actually in Orlando Supercross at the Camping World Stadium. Was his last ever Supercross race. But right now, there's no one really in particular in the 450 class. There are some dudes that are just all really good, and but Jet Lawrence is the guy who's like, he actually just went undefeated in the outdoor season, so you could kind of say him. But Chase Sexton, who I think you know as well, he's from here or he's not from here, but he lives here in Claremont now. He's really, really good. Like, his style and technique on the bike is unreal, and obviously he's one of my good buddies too. And after him, it's probably Eli Tomac. I mean, all three of those guys next year, it's going to be a dogfight.
Do you ride with Sexton?
On occasion, but honestly, I'm never really here in Florida because the team that I've been racing for, the Phoenix Racing Honda team, they're in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I live up there during the season. And then now when I get ready for this World Supercross, I'll go to California, in Madera, California, and the PMG Suzuki team, who I'll be riding for that, they're out there. So I'm kind of all over. But when I'm here, I did ride with Chase actually a good bit this summer.
What's your strengths in the sport? What do you accredit yourself for?
I'll be honest, I'm really hard on myself, so I tell you nothing. But I mean, I'll be honest, I don't think many people. That's actually why I started YouTube this year. I'm just trying to show people my personality. I feel like I have a good personality, and I can bring a lot more to the table than just the gate drop and just racing my dirt bike out there. I want to be encouraging to the young dudes and even the older people who tune into the sport, you know. So I think I got a good head on my shoulders, and I can do good things there. But racing, I mean, I for sure, I mean, everyone else, to even become a professional, you have to do this, but I for sure race with all heart. Like, God, my life is either living or it's dead just based on my result on the weekend. And I'm trying to be better about that, because that's honestly not a good thing, but it can be a good thing too. But like, dude, I live and die by what happens on the weekend. Like, 2 weeks ago, I didn't have a very good race, and it was our final race here in the States for the year, and it was in LA, and man, it didn't go very well. And I swear that happened 2 weeks ago, and it's keeping me up at night still to this day. And I'm trying to be better at forgetting what happens on Saturday after it's done. But God, when you want to do so good, it's hard to just leave it there.
A lot of athletes, especially in the fighting department, they have psychologists to talk them through what they're going through. Even when they win, athletes talk to psychologists.
It's a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all mentality.
I could probably go see one. My mom and dad try to hype me up or whatever, you know, they tell you what you want to hear, or sometimes tell you what you need to hear, which I'd rather always hear what I need to hear than what I'd like to hear. But yeah, I mean, even the guys on my team, everyone's so supportive for the most part, you know, but yeah, I mean, sometimes I just don't want you to tell me I did good, like, because that's not the truth all the time. Like, my dad, he's Mr. Positive. Like, honestly, he's just pretty stoked that I've made it to the point that I have, but that's just not me. Like, I always tell them, like, they'll tell me, oh, you did good. Like, in Supercross, I got 9th in the championship. I did good. Okay, but can you tell me who got 9th last year? No, you can't. You know, you really only remember the winner. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I should be winning right now. I have a lot of room to improve even before I even consider that, but it's obviously my end goal. And yeah, it can be tough.
Yeah, man. I feel like if I was upset that I did bad in a race or something, I would just turn on Talladega Nights and I'd just get real into it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, you know what? Maybe I should try that. But hopefully we don't have any more bad ones.
Dude, Will Ferrell aged so I don't know if he aged quick, but Will Ferrell just turned old.
You know what?
Like that.
It's kind of funny you say that because I don't know if you just saw it. I was on TikTok either today or yesterday, and I saw him DJing at his son's frat or something like that.
I saw that.
And I thought the same thing because like you always see him, you feel like, and then all of a sudden you see him, you're like, dude, that's Will Ferrell. Like, holy crap! Like, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's kind of sad in a way, but it's just,
dude, Will Ferrell
time goes on.
Will Ferrell on a motocross bike would be insane.
Will Ferrell in a motocross movie would be unbelievable.
We're calling you out, Will.
Yeah,
We need another Talladega Nights, but motocross edition.
that'd be sick.
So you kind of touched on the relationship between riders. Would you say it's more dog eat dog? Do you think a lot of riders are trying to just battle it out,
100%.
even off the track? Like when the tents are up, we're suiting up and stuff. Is it like, what's up? Like whatever, some words.
I think so.
Okay.
I think a lot of people are scared to say it, but they're thinking it for sure. I know that's how I kind of like to think, and I know off the track there's been some beef before with either females involved or whatever,
Yeah.
So like, it's for sure a doggy dog.
Yeah. That for some reason that made me think of how like having like a 10 out of 10 girlfriend is so stressful, especially when you bring her to like a super motocross event with all these like gnarly dudes and you're like, yep, that's my super like 10 out of 10 beautiful girl. It's gonna stir up beef.
They're all just a bunch of dogs. Trust me. They are.
The groupies and whatnot, right? So I made a recent documentary on YouTube where I try to run a 4-minute 59 mile after 31 days of training.
I watched it.
You watched it, and then I got a video that same night, a couple hours after it dropped, of you running a mile.
Had it playing in my living room, and I said, dude, I need to go try this like this.
Yeah.
I want to try and get under 5. So we geared up right after, like we literally played it. It was 20-minute video or something?
Yeah.
I want to say, watched it. And I said, all right, let's go do this. And it was 8 something at night. And like we sent you the video and I went out and tried it. Yeah, it was, dude it's gnarly.
That was like my, that little kid on the track at Gainesville. That was like my moment where I'm like, oh, sick. Like this pro motocross rider was inspired to run a mile because of this.
And
so.
I did it. My cousin Nicholas did it. And then Jack went and did it the next day.
Nice.
So there's 3 of us just from watching the video. And my mom saying that she wants to go do it.
Yeah. We're inspiring moms.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dude, I thought Jack would get a better mile time. I'm upset with him.
Yeah.
I know he can do it.
You know what? I'm just glad that Jack did it because I thought for sure he'd bail out on me because he's like, he told me, so the night that we did it, that me and Nicholas did it, we're like, Jack, like you're hyping us up, but why don't you do it? No, not tonight, but tomorrow night. And I'm thinking, okay, like tomorrow night, sure. Well, the tomorrow night came and I'm like, Jack, where you at? Oh, I'm still at dinner. And we're all like, yeah, he's bailing. He shows up to the house. I said, dang, he's in it. Okay. So we brought him and I'm like, all right. And we went, my cousin went Instagram live, raised $80 for Jack to run the mile. Everyone was like gassing him up as he was doing it.
Damn, we should have done that,
Yeah,
man.
we're like, Jack, they were like, Jack, if you finish, I'll Venmo you this. And then everyone kept, and dude, he got $80 for running the mile. So maybe that's going to encourage him to do more. He says he wants to get, into the 8-minute, so he needs to get training.
Hell yeah. Jack would do anything for about $80.
100%.
Yeah, give that man $80, he'll do something.
You know for sure. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. So are you a caffeine holic as well?
Big time. Oh yeah. I just love coffee. I'm trying to get back off of caffeine, but it's too hard. Especially when I'm here in Claremont, I love Foxdale.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of money there in a week. But yeah, I love coffee.
$7 premium coffees.
Oh man.
It does taste different. If you don't think premium coffee tastes different, you're wrong. Yeah. If you make a Keurig coffee at home, it does not taste like $7.
No, and it also doesn't, to me, it doesn't get me as gassed up either.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Have you done a blonde roast? Foxtail doesn't have one. They only have medium or dark, but Starbucks has a blonde roast.
Never had it. Or, not that I know of. I've never had
it. The more blonde espresso gets, the higher caffeine it is. And then the darker, the less.
Is that, they have like a coffee that's, it's not cold brew. It's like, or the nitro cold brew or something.
Yeah, nitro.
At Starbucks, and they won't even sell past like the grande size or something.
Yeah, I think it's illegal.
Yeah, because it's so much caffeine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the Four Loko incident where they used to put caffeine in their alcoholic beverages and now it's forbidden. Can't do it. Made a lot of people sick.
Yeah. I've heard Four Locos will get you.
I worked with this old guy at Chick-fil-A and he would drink Four Locos for pre-workout before working out. because it was caffeinated alcohol. I'm like, oof, can't do it.
I don't think I would try that, but it sounds like a good time too.
Sounds gnarly.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, well, perfect segue. What's your training regimen like? No Four Locos?
No Four Locos, but I mean, yeah, my training regimen, it's honestly pretty strict. It's Monday through Saturday. My only off day is Sunday, and I mean, yeah, we especially in the off season we put in many hours, and I try to ride in the off season 4 days a week. And when I'm not riding, you're in the gym or you're cycling, like you saw. I don't really run that often, only because it's so hard on your legs, as you know.
Yeah.
And so we already take such a beating riding so that's why we do cycling, because it's less impact, but yet it's a really good workout for getting the cardio in.
How often are you hitting the track then? All 6 days?
No, so we ride 3 to 4 days. Like right now, this week I'll ride 3, but like when I'm really like training, it's 4 days. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, normally at the track.
Gotcha. And do you feel like you're leveling up? Are you kind of at the age where you're a professional motocross rider, you're getting good placements? Do you feel like you're really leveling up right now, existentially?
I mean, it's my time. Like I have to. It's I don't have a choice. This next year, like, so my rookie year was in 2022, and then my second year was this year. So, and I made a really big jump for this year. It's a jump that I needed to make, but next year I need to make an even bigger jump. I'm 22 years old now. I'm getting older, and it's time to crap or get off the pot. You know?
Well, is motocross one of those sports where you could be 36 and still get first placement?
No, not really. I mean, there's a couple old dudes that do it. I mean, that's not even old, but we call them old.
Yeah.
But I mean, shoot, for the most part, like 30, you're really up there in the sport. So there's a lot of young dudes. I mean, like the Jet Lawrence guy that I mentioned, he's 19 or 20 and he's winning in the 450 class, which is he's literally probably the best right now. And I mean, yeah, that's like unheard of, but dude, it's a very young sport just because you take such a beating. I mean, I got my first dirt bike at 4 and I've been riding ever since, and pretty much everyone else is like that. If not younger, they start. So it's definitely a toll on your body, but yeah, I mean, you don't have much time, so you need to make the most of it.
How important is your weight when it comes to motocross?
Yeah, so I struggle big time with it because I'm honestly one of the tallest ones there is that races. There's only 1 or 2 dudes that are taller than me, and I'm on a 250, which is the smaller bike. And so with me being taller, I already weigh a lot. So I weigh 180, 185, but then I'm racing dudes that are 140, 145, and 8 pounds or 7 pounds equal 1 horsepower. So that's a lot of weight. Like 40 pounds is huge, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm already so big. So that's why my cousins, so they go to the gym to like get big. I don't go to the gym to sit there and be like, yeah, dude, I'm getting big. I go there to stay fit, I get stronger, but I have to be very careful on how much weight or how much muscle I put on, because you know how much muscle weighs. So I have to stay extremely skinny because of how tall I am. So it's definitely a tough spot, but when I race outdoors, I get on the 450 and I start to get a little bit bigger. And the 450, it's kind of probably almost going to be better for me here soon just because I'm so big. But the 450 class, it's the premier class. It's the best of the best. Like when all 22 guys in a Supercross main event that are in that class, for the most part, they've all won a championship. Like it's gnarly to be in that class. So that's why I don't really want to make the jump yet. I feel like I have more to give in the 250 class for now, but yeah, to answer your question, it's a big deal.
You ever think about throwing some pre-workout in the gas tank or sneaking a little economy turbo on the back?
I need to do something. Being big, I need to do something.
Yeah, he's like, bro, I weigh like 40 extra pounds.
Yeah.
I could put a little turbo.
Yeah, exactly.
Button right here.
Yeah, I need it.
When I drive in my Honda Civic, not sponsored, but Honda's dope. I'll throw it in sport mode, like I'm shifting, and then I'll hit the economy button and I'll turn it off and I'll act like it's turbo. So I turn the economy off and I act like it's actually making me go faster. It's like,
get your little rush in for the day.
So bro, have you always been that kid do you still feel like that kid on the bike, just at this broad scale, and there's this responsibility and all this money and all that stuff?
I mean, dude,
or is he gone?
I'm still that kid when I ride for some reason. I hope it never goes away. When you start riding, you're not thinking about everything else that you have going for you or whatever, you know, like when my first ever Supercross, like my first ever pro race, I'll be honest, I was sitting on the gate and I'm looking around and I'm like, dude, like this is like where I've dreamed to be here my whole life, and I'm here. Like, holy crap. Like, that's the first time I was ever kind of like pinch me a little bit.
Right.
Like, dude, like, which I don't even want to say I made it, because just getting on the gate isn't making it to me. But for some people it is. And like for my parents, like that was awesome for them to see, because they've obviously given up a lot to get me to that point. And to see me down there on the professional gate, it was like, whoa, like this is crazy. But I mean, dude, like I just love it so much. So I don't even think of it as a job. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's days where you don't want to get out of bed. You're sore, you're tired. Like, man, I got to go ride. Like, not every day. You know how it is. No matter how much you love something, not every day you want to go get up and do it. So those are the days where you're like, okay, like this is my job. Let's go. Like, let's clock in. Let's get this thing over with. But for the most part, I'd say 98% of days I'm juiced up to go ride. Like, I'm like, yep, this is what I live for. This is what I need.
Huge accomplishments always lead to new trials and tribulations, meaning just getting to the professional level is in itself a huge accomplishment. But then boom, that next journey starts.
Yeah.
And then once you place how you want to place in 250 and then move up to 450, then that journey starts.
Exactly.
And then after, you've done your thing and you give it back to the game and you have these YouTube vlogs and say something sparks your interest, maybe you're a professional ping pong player.
Yeah.
There's the new journey. Like, or you're just a funny guy recording with your family. Like, boom, next Roman Atwood, who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like you said, like when you make it to the gate, like for the person that's doing it, you're like, wow, this is a big deal. But the people that have already been on the gate for years, they could care less. You're just another piece of dirt they're stepping on, So you got to be ready to fight at all costs. And like you said, every year your goals change and you want to keep getting better. And if you don't have that, then I think that's your time that you need to hang it up. Because I know for me, every race I go home scratching my head like, dude, how can I get better? Like I need to make that next jump now. Like this year, like I'd already said, I made that jump, but next year I need to make an even bigger jump. And I go to bed thinking about it. I wake up thinking like, dude, how can I be better? Like I have to make this jump. Like I'm third year, it's go time. Like I got to make it happen.
You sound like you're very hard on yourself, and I can relate a lot. Do you feel like you're too hard on yourself sometimes?
For sure at times, but I don't like to, I don't like to celebrate the little things only because I know where I really want to be. And that's when I'll celebrate. But it can definitely work against you being so hard on yourself. But I also know what I'm capable of, and I want the people around me to know what I'm capable of. And so I don't ever want them to settle if I'm like happy, That's what I feel like. I feel like I'm the leader of the ship, and so I want everyone else to follow my lead. Like that's how I think.
Nice, man. I love that mindset. Any gnarly breaks, tears, or anything on the bike since being 4 years old?
Like on my body.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, for sure. It's a part of it. I've had my shoulder worked on. I kept popping it out. I tore my labrum, so I had to get that one fixed. My wrist, elbow, both left and right wrist.
Bro, you're just listing everybody part right now. Yeah. He's like both labrums.
Yeah, like collarbones.
Wow.
It stinks, but it is a part of it, unfortunately.
How long have you been out for an injury before?
Yeah, probably the longest one I would say probably 2 to 3 months, I would think. Dude, the wrist and elbow that I did was actually, it happened December 1st of 2021. So that was the off season, getting ready for my first ever professional season. It happened on December 1st, got surgery the next day or day after. I got back riding December 31st for a wrist and elbow. And I shouldn't have been back riding at all. But when you're just in it, you're like, dude, I have to. And looking back, it's not smart at all. But I knew I was going into my first professional season. I'm like, dude, I have to go. And to this, I actually had to end up getting the hardware out of my wrist because it hurt so bad all last year. And I need to do the same for my elbow. But yeah, dude, when you're in it, you don't even think about what actually is hurting. You're just thinking about when is the fastest I can get back on that bike and what can I do to help myself get there.
Sick. We're storyboarding some video ideas, and I want to bring this up to you because you'll have insight. How crazy would it be if I rode the bike for a little bit and then I tried to do one of the biggest ramps in the world? Is that like could you not even go off the biggest ramps in the world, or once you have a certain amount of control?
You say biggest ramp, you mean just a jump on the track, or the longest gap ever to be?
I wouldn't say longest gap ever because I'm not going to go there, but I guess I just mean like a really high ramp. I know you don't really rank it based on the height of the ramp, but it makes for a good story and
Definitely
thumbnail.
makes for a good story, but it's going to cost you a lot probably in hospital bills.
You think so? Oh my gosh.
I mean, yeah, possibly. I mean,
what if I did, what if I did like a month where I just would go out and then I would do like bigger ramps, you know, just do some riding, whatever. Can you rent bikes anywhere?
I'm sure that there's places,
right?
I would think.
I'm sure on Facebook. Oh, now I'm like actually like thinking about the logistics of it.
I mean, it's
so you think
it's expensive just to go buy a bike, obviously, but
yeah.
I mean, yeah, it'd be gnarly. It'd be gnarly. Yeah, I think so.
One lap completion.
Yeah, that'd be the goal.
Just that, yeah, one lap completion would be great.
That'd be awesome.
How many laps are you doing out there for a regular race?
So it goes by minutes. So in Supercross, it's 15 minutes plus 1 for my class, and then in the outdoors, it's 2 30-minute plus 2 motos, and those are like, and that's obviously in the heat of summer. And I know 30 minutes doesn't sound like a lot, but it's pure hell. Like you're out there suffering. Like you dip into the tank every time you're out there. Like you're sitting on the gate for the second moto, you're already pretty drained, and you're like, dude, I got to go do another one of these. But
wow.
I mean, everyone else I'm sure is feeling the same pain. And at the end of like the last couple laps of those motos, I mean, even the Supercross main event, it's only 15 minutes, but it is so intense. I mean, dude, my heart rate's 200 the whole time. Like I'm redlining the whole way. So those last 2 laps, you're in that mental battle. It's the same way with that mile run. Like that last little bit, you're wanting to quit, obviously. Like it for sure crosses your mind. Yeah.
You just feel sick at a certain point.
Yeah. It crosses your mind, and that's when you just have to dip into that zone, you know, where you're just like, dude, like I gotta finish. Let's go. Like,
yeah.
I know I'm hurting. Someone else is hurting too, but I need to make a pass.
You start having those anime flashbacks, like when you were a kid, your mom gave you your first bike, and you're like, come on.
This is why I do this.
You have one of the chest wearables, don't you? Mm-hmm. That tracks your heart rate?
Yeah, the heart rate.
How much is that?
Oh, it's pretty cheap.
Pretty cheap?
Yeah, you can get a Garmin one on Amazon for 60, 70 bucks, probably. It's worth it. It's good. You didn't do any heart rate training when you did running?
So actually, I don't want to slander the company. So PJ, blur out whatever whenever I do say the company. I did have one shipped to me, called. I was gonna try to work out a sponsorship with what I'm creating, just show them the final product, and be like, hey, we'll leave all this in if some monetary whatever. I hated it, bro. I hated it.
Really?
And I like Fitbits. I used a Fitbit for a while.
I used like,
do you?
For like in my off season when my trainer actually wants to like track like all my sleeping and recovery.
Well, it's like the fourth most accurate wearable for like actual heart rate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, I don't go off my heart rate though for that, for training. Like I only wear that strictly for like sleeping and like checking my recovery and stuff.
Yeah. Was it easy to read though? Because I feel like it was hard to read. Meaning,
like all the stats
I just didn't like the statistics because I'm like, are these just fake numbers?
Yeah,
they're like,
it's so much.
You're 77% rested today. I'm like, what does that really mean?
Yeah, I know, because I would stop honestly looking at it on race day, because there would be times I'd wake up, I feel great, and it would say I'm 15% recovered, and that's not what I want to see when I have to go race. You know, it's like, what's going on here? But then, so I just stopped looking at it on race day. But yeah, for me, it was the same way. Like I would wake up and I feel great. I'd be 20% recovered. I'd wake up sometimes, feel terrible, and I was 98% recovered. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah. So plus I was just recording everything, and I was going to either integrate it really well with the video or not, which you watched the doc and you saw there was no wearable integration and showing my stats. Mm-hmm. So it was just a lot to commit to, especially when I already didn't like the band. Mm-hmm. So sorry, we just did an anti-sponsor thing for you guys.
Yeah, definitely the most accurate is a chest strap for sure.
Yeah. I thought they were expensive. I just assumed they were because they were super accurate.
No, yeah, they're really good to train on. They're the best for sure. Like wrist, it's accurate if your heart rate's like lower, but once it starts getting high, it's not that accurate.
Like those Aura rings, I'm like, is it really tracking your?
Yeah, those stuff's gnarly to me, but supposedly those are like really good.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I think they're really accurate for like running and cardio and bike, especially bike. Bike is always really accurate because you're not shaking so much. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to weightlifting, it's impossible to track
exactly.
because it shakes.
Yeah. Yeah, it constantly has like pressure on it too.
So what's your hobbies outside of motocross? I want to get into.
Yeah, I love going on the lake here. I love to wake surf. I mean, I'm not even that good, but I just love, there's something about that I absolutely love.
You saw Thomas Sherman? do the so he's from Claremont. Do you know Thomas Sherman?
I don't.
Short. Sorry, I don't know. I shouldn't start defining somebody by saying short. He's very short, but he's a great looking guy. I don't know why I started with short. Sorry. He did the first triple flip on boat at a Red Bull event like
Really?
3 weeks ago, and
Wakeboarding?
yeah, wakeboarding.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's pretty sick. 'Cause
it was sick.
like Rusty Malinowski. I don't know if you know him. He was really, really good at wakeboarding. Like
Yeah.
I think he was like a champion even. He actually lives right here in Claremont too. Like
Yeah.
there's a bunch of wakeboard guys here.
I didn't know his actual name, but I think I've seen his boat out there before. Because
Yeah.
whenever I'm on a boat with other people who are into it, they're like, "That's him."
yeah. Yeah, that
I
makes
just don't
sense.
remember his name. He has a really nice boat.
Oh yeah.
I mean-
he was sponsored. Like he would always get fresh boats. I'm pretty sure because he was sponsored by whoever it was. But yeah,
Sick, man. We love expensive toys.
yeah, that's really
Something about a golf cart parked in the garage. You know what I mean? Like something about hopping on the golfie and
Oh, yeah.
grabbing the mail real
Oh
quick.
yeah,
We just love wheels and toys.
yeah.
It never gets old to you though. You're never like, I don't want to ride the bike.
I mean, like I said, there's definitely days where it feels like a job, but you gotta go do it. I mean, at the end of a
sure.
season, you start to definitely get burnt out. But I mean, everyone kind of has to deal with it. You have to, as much training as you do, it also takes a lot of recovery. Like you have to be, you have to weigh it out. You have to have good recovery so you can train, so you never get to that point. Because the more rested I am, the better you're obviously gonna feel. You know how it is. Like, there's days where when you're super rested, you love waking up and you're like, I'm ready to go crush this workout
Yeah.
or whatever. So that's honestly what one of the most important things is, just your recovery, especially through a season. Because for us, we go so many weekends in a row of just racing, and so then you're traveling, you're flying to these races, and I mean, we get to fly luckily, but still, like even when I go to Abu Dhabi in November, like I got to go a week in advance early because it's such a long travel. It's gonna be like 24 hours of straight traveling on an airplane. Like that's insane, you know? And like then you're looking at a massive time change too. So that's one of the biggest things, is just trying to rest as you do all of that, because then on top of all this traveling, it's very cool to go to Abu Dhabi, but then you have to be ready to go and be at your peak performance on race day after all of that travel and time change and different culture, obviously different food. Like it's just all
Yeah.
so different. So yeah, like I said, it's just that's one of the most important things with all of it.
Is your team Honda, do they sponsor like coaching and nutrition and show you what you should be doing?
Yeah, so the Phoenix team for Supercross, they pay for us to go train at a facility. It's called Club MX in North Carolina, but it's just riding. They'll help you out, like they'll kind of coach you with riding and just strictly on the track. But then I pay to have my own trainer, who he does all my gym, cycling, all that. His name's Blake Savage. He's been with me since my last year amateur, and he's just been awesome. Like he and what I like about him most is he knows I don't make excuses. He knows I'm hard on myself. So the days that I tell him like, dude, Blake, like I'm cooked. Like I don't really know if I should do this cycle because I'm so tired. He's like, okay, like I get it. Like I know you're not just making an excuse to not work out, because he knows I'm a hard worker. If you tell me I need to go do 50 miles a day on the bicycle and that's gonna make me win, I'll go do 50 miles a day on the bicycle and I won't complain about it. So, and he knows that's how I am, and we just have a good relationship. He's actually in Utah. He just gives me all my stuff over the phone, and I just go hammer it out. Like today, I had a bike ride in gym, and yeah, I mean, he's been really good for me, and his brother-in-law is actually Ken Roxon, who he also lives here in Claremont. He's one of the best right now there is, and probably one of the best at sports I've ever even seen. He's from Germany, and it's just, and that's actually, he'll be my teammate when I go to Abu Dhabi. I'm on the same team as him for the World Supercross team on Suzuki. And just being around those guys, like they just have so much wisdom, and that's what I'm trying to, I've said it so many times, I just try to be a sponge and just soak everything in. And I try to ask questions without being annoying, you know, because I'm the younger one, and I just want to learn so I can get to that next level. Like that's just what I want to do. I want to be the one that people want to go see and go watch, you know?
So it's hard to crack jokes with people who you actually want advice from.
Exactly, it is.
Like when you're like,
really hard.
you're being a sponge, it's hard to just be yourself and joke around, because you're like,
know.
I just kind of want to know what y'all
Yeah,
do.
Exactly. It's really hard. Like I try to be myself around everyone, but like you're saying, it's like you want to be taken serious though too when you actually ask the questions. It's hard.
Oh, and this just came on my mind. Something Louis wanted me to talk about. For riding, can like privateer riders at these competitions actually compete with some factory riders? Has it happened before?
Yeah, for sure. So to explain it to the people
Please.
watching, so a privateer rider is someone who's not on a team, like they're having to pay for everything out of their own pocket, or they just get like side sponsors to help. Like they'll get, it's just an example, like Foxtail Coffee will throw them 5-10 grand, and then they'll get this person to throw in 5-10 grand. So you know what I'm saying? Like it just adds up for them. But for the most part, they're paying for everything. They got to drive to all the races. They got to hire their own mechanic, or then they got to go pay to get all the modifications done to their bikes. Where like the team I'm on, they take care of all that. I get to fly to the race. Like I'm blessed to have the opportunity that I have, and I want to make the most of it. But yes, a privateer can for sure. I mean, don't get me wrong, you're definitely at a disadvantage. I mean, people even say the team that I'm on with Phoenix Honda here in the States, that I'm at a disadvantage on that team because it's not as good as a factory team. Or they say our bike might not be as good, but you know what? That's up to me to make the bike that I'm on work and be the best that I can be on that bike. So, I mean, I think they can for sure. They have before, and it's much harder. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely hard. It's not an easy job. It's not an easy task at hand, but you can for sure.
Dude, just the world of motocross is honestly really, like, honestly, a video I make probably in the next couple months will have something to do with something motocross.
That'll be
because it's
sick.
so sensational. It's just so sick.
I'm glad you're
Yeah.
taking a liking to it.
Yeah. The roars of the engine, the gambling you're doing going out there.
Speaking of the roars of the engines, they're starting to come out with electric dirt bikes. And I just really hope that, which it would be cool for electric dirt bikes only for like, say someone like you to go ride. Then you know what, you could even go ride in the retention pond down there or something, you know, just to mess around, where if it's noisy that no one wants you to go down there. But to me, like, it would not be as cool when you show up to a stadium or Daytona International Speedway and you're sitting there watching people on electric dirt bikes. Like, I'm sorry, that's just not as cool. Like, like I don't want to be able to hear my mom yelling at me to go faster. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just, like, that's a part of it to me. Like, when you go to these pro races, like, the sounds of those bikes, like, you don't hear that good of a sounding bike when you just go to the local track here, or the smell of the race gas. Like, that's such a big part of it to me, where when it's electric, I don't think that like coolness would be there.
But imagine Tesla Motors
I mean, yeah,
hits up old CP and goes, hey, we just crafted.
you know what? You'll see me on electric.
You're just zooming past everybody. Just
you'll see me there.
This is giving me a Cars 2 vibe. You know the Disney Pixar movie Cars, where that new and approved, was it an electric car in the movie? I feel like you might know.
Yeah, it was just like a technology advancement.
Yeah, maybe half electric.
It felt really ancient.
Yeah, it's giving me Cars 2 vibes.
Yeah,
Where like,
I mean, yeah, the paychecks are there. You'll see everyone on them. You know?
oh yeah, yeah. I like Chargers and Dodge and all the Hellcats. They're all turning electric,
Are they really?
which is crazy because it's like that's such an appreciated motorized car by a huge culture.
Yeah, and I'm not even knocking Tesla, because I think they're really sick, and I actually just got to drive one for the first time back in like March, and they're really fun to drive. But to me, it's just like electric. Like, for me, I obviously can travel. Like, even when I would go back to Charlotte, sometimes I have to drive. Like, you know how much longer a travel would be like with an electric car? Or because when you stop, it's not just a quick gas fill up. You know, it's not a 5-minute ordeal. It's I think like a couple hours, right, to charge.
I think, is it a couple hours? I think they got it down to
45.
like 40
Either
more.
way, like, think about the line for like an electric charging station, you know, like, that's why I'm not for it. But I don't get me wrong, for like a local car to have, like, I think they're sick.
And it's sick how fast they go.
Oh, I know that.
Have you felt the roar?
Oh yeah, I was stepping on it for sure, and you're like your head goes back,
And all you hear is,
yeah, it's sick.
yeah, man. Shout out to Elon. He, do you have I don't know why, but you strike me as a guy that has like a flamethrower. Do you have one?
I don't have a flamethrower.
Okay, I don't know why I asked that. Sorry. Bro, I really appreciate you stopping by. And since we're so local, I'd definitely be interested in hanging out and making some more videos and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, best of luck.
Thank you.
Abu Dhabi, that's the next stop, eh?
Yeah. And in November, I got Abu Dhabi, I got Paris, and Australia. So it's gonna be a busy month of traveling for the month.
You gonna vlog it?
And, oh yeah, for sure. Paris, I'm gonna have my guy Clutch Media Sater. He's gonna fly with me to Paris. But Abu Dhabi and Australia, you just gave me you really sparked my interest. I think I might go buy that camera and just do it all
Nice.
at least I'll just film it myself because it's obviously really expensive to pay for plane tickets to go there for him. So I'll probably just film it and send it to him. But yeah, I for sure want to keep the vlogs going for those.
Yeah, and a note on the vlogs. Great content, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, you were right at the very beginning. You said you have a great personality.
Thank you.
You're entertaining. You are inspiring, I'm sure, to a lot of kids who want to do motocross or any action sport. Bro, you're just gnarly.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you, man.
No, thank you. I appreciate those kind words. And yeah, you know, that's why I want to do the YouTube is just, like I said, I just want to be able to show my character more because I used to be shy and I don't know, I've kind of come out of my shell the last couple of years and I just want to show that and bring some joy to the world if I can.
Yeah. Where can the audience find you if they don't know already?
So you can find me on Instagram. My Instagram's Cullin Park, Cullin, and then park like you park a car. And I'm on TikTok too, but I don't remember what I want to say that's the same thing, just Cullin Park. Jack actually runs my TikTok for me.
Oh, the man Jack.
Yeah, he does it for me. I'll just send him some videos and he throws in the hashtag.
Dude, I wish he was here. Actually, we should have just had him sit right there.
Yeah.
And just be like, hey.
Yeah, the only problem with Jack is you gotta, like, dude, he'll come over to my house. I'm trying to teach.
Oh, and he'll just take a huge shit in the bathroom, right? No, just kidding.
No, yeah, he don't care. He'll do that too. I'm trying to teach Jack to read the room and know the audience on what to say and what not to say, you know? Because he'll come over and my mom will be sitting right there or my niece who's 5 years old. And I'm like, Jack, you cannot say this stuff right now, dude. Like, come on, we got to learn. So he'd for sure probably sell me out on something right here if he's sitting next to me. But hey, it would be good.
Remember that one time in downtown Orlando when...
Really, straight up, that's something Jack would say 100%. But all love, I like that kid.
Yeah, one last question before we wrap it up. Do you think you could outrun a cop on a motocross bike?
Just on a road, or like, can I finesse my?
You can finesse. You can go through suburbs.
I mean, I don't want to admit
Trampolines.
but yeah, I got this. I
Sick.
got that. Yeah,
Sick.
I got that.
Oh yeah, chopper.
Chopper. No, I mean chopper. They got you.
They
At that
get-
point, if a chopper's on you, I mean, at that point, it's over.
I mean, that's free videography at that point.
That's true.
They'll have the
Hey.
drones out.
Dude,
like-
you know what? That'll be on the news, and then that's gonna be on my next YouTube. That'll be a good clip. You know.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I hope to never be on that situation. But yeah, I got a cop, but not the chopper.
Yeah. Well, CP, everybody, this was the Wet Slap. Like and subscribe.
Always.
Always. Why? I mean, you guys watched it and didn't? Crazy. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Thank you, CP and Deuce.
Thank you.